All right, folks, welcome on into the Pegasus Actual Podcast. This is Supreme Heretic. We got a hell of a panel tonight. We are waiting on our special guest. As soon as he gets here, we'll go ahead and just get him locked, loaded, and live. But until then, of course, we have awesome folks in their own right. And that would be going around the panel. Just a normie. Another person comes straight from the chats and gets right onto the panel. How about that? So he's here with us tonight. So just a normie, aka Scott. Of course, next person you all know and love. He is one of the best channels amongst our community. He is a great friend, even more so than that. And I'm pleased to have Comics Division with us again. Great to see you, Comics.
Hey, man. How's it going? How's it going, everyone?
Yeah, it's awesome. And, of course, we have the sexy published author that needs no introduction. That would be Mr. Stephen Walton.
Hail to the chat. I'm eating chicken fingers because I've had so many live streams today. Thank you for being here. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Please share out the link and smash the like if you can hear me through my muffled voice. And admire Culture Casino's hair.
Yeah. And
very sexy hair.
That goes without saying. Of course, Culture needs no introduction because his hair does it for him. The one, the only Culture Casino, a regular here on this panel every week, same as Steven. And tonight, it's pretty much the three of us as a trio because Raquel is out for the evening. She had plans. And, so Comics is stepping in, doing his due diligence. And Justin Normie decided to add his expertise. And, of course, hopefully we will get our special guest on soon, and that is Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Schaefer. And looking forward to speaking with him because he has great credentials. And, the best part of it is, here's a guy that's a national security expert and everything else. And turns out, really and truly, the guy is one of us. He's a pop culture guy. He's a sci-fi nerd.
Really?
One of us.
He enjoys.
Phantom Mantis.
Don't say that. I gotta feel less white.
Yeah,
that's right, buddy. You suck down that Coca-Cola.
That's right.
That's white people.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
I'll hail the chicken fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I see we got a lot of people in the chat tonight. We got Wookiee Supremacy, Dakari Garments out there, Mikhail, Emperor of Corruption, Roof Korean, as always, is chilling in our chat. Korean. So, yeah, we got a chat of thousands. And hey, what is up, Runner? Shut up, Runner. So Cooper's here and Fat Steven. Hey.
Dude, Darth Haster's here. What's up, Darth?
Hey, what's going on, Darth Haster? All right, so tonight's episode, we're going to do a measure of salvation. It kind of continues off of last week where, they sent Baltar on the mission to that base ship, and he finds the 6 Cylons, and there's that, there's obviously that probe is the cause. Although he kind of that there's obviously that. So the thing that I'm wondering is this episode tonight, and by the way, this is one of the better ones in the series because there's an interesting moral conundrum. Did you like the last episode better than this one, or did you like this one as you were watching it? I happen to like this one a little more.
If you enjoy seeing Baltar get tortured, this is a great episode. Are you kidding, man? I also love seeing the visuals in the very beginning. Seeing the ships in disarray, seeing like the base star just not working, and all the raiders.
Yeah, columns. Yeah,
That was awesome.
The beginning of that's pretty amazing. And you know, I mean, you got a feel for the situation throughout this entire episode. And again, I'm not going to talk about it in advance, but I'm just going to say that this one gives me the things that I look for in a lot of good sci-fi, which is an ethical conundrum.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so this is one of those that sticks with you. You watch it 2-3 dozen times over the course of the last 2 years, because that would be me. Mm-hmm. And you're like, wow, I can see a lot of things in parallel that I would be struggling with right now. And you know, it doesn't matter when you watch some of this stuff. It's all every once in a while you come across an episode that lines up with what you're dealing with currently. So, and this whole series right now, kind of is crap we're dealing with in a very different way. So,
Culture, when you see these normally pristine skin job Cylons all messed up all over the place and their hair, you know, disheveled, does that make you cringe?
Yeah, of course it does. I have a real problem with that. I mean, again, it speaks to, you know, as much as we don't want to talk about it, race and stuff like that, but it speaks to these concepts, these ideas, and it makes you recognize that even though these things are not like me, I can still empathize with the situation, and I can have sympathy.
Mm-hmm. Well,
in this situation, and it's one of those weird places. Like I said, this introduces that ethical gray area,
right?
Where, you know, it would benefit people that look like me, but since, you know.
Well, racism is a heavy theme. That's what you're trying to hit on, right? Because it is really, you're talking about two completely different, a human race and a Cylon race, you know, and as well as like the Sharon model that's with them, you know, that's going through the same ethical conundrum. Athena, yeah. So, I mean, racism is a heavy theme in this show.
And it is, and it's not done. It's not done in that way, but it's any form of prejudice, essentially. What you're saying. So it doesn't have to be race; it's just a form of prejudice. You know,
literal.
Both sides have their form of prejudice, and so you come up. I can wipe everybody out. You know, I can exercise this extreme prejudice that I have against this one thing, right? Or, you know, I can recognize that they are equal life. And that is a ridiculous thing to think about, is to literally exterminate another party.
Right.
You know, and you know, and once again, as the story goes on and we get all the way to the end of it, we recognize that our differences were so minor in such a small, there was very, very few distinctions between, you know, you have to come to grips with that. So anyway, we can go on through this, but I just always find this fascinating because, again, good sci-fi speaks to you in that way. It speaks to you.
It certainly does.
It challenges you, and it should. It should challenge you. It should be incredibly entertaining. It should be something that grips you. And this has a little more drama in it than most people can appreciate. But I feel. Every time I watch it, mind you, I've watched this dozens of times. I mean, we've talked about it before. I mean, this is something I watch 2 times, 3 times a year sometimes. And it's the story. The story is so good and it's so compelling, but it's also it's a challenge. And if you're not challenged by watching a show, then you're probably not watching a very deep show. It's probably very superficial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to say hello to Wes Moody, our pal. He's in the chat. Becky Browen is here. Great to see Becky in the chat, as well as Shellback is lurking around here in the chat. So great to see Shellback, TJC as well. So my former colleague at Bounding Into Comics, great writer himself, the Armored Otter, aka Jorge. Nice. Great to see you, Jorge.
Hell, Jorge.
Jorge's not writing for Bounding anymore?
No, he's he kind of took a leave of absence to work on his own stuff and handle some of the responsibilities that are going on around home.
Fair enough.
Is Jorge writing a novel or something? Is he coming out with his own?
Yeah, I believe he's got a book out already, and I'm sure that he'd be happy to share that. I think he shares it out regularly on.
That's awesome. If you're an independent, Jorge, let us know, man. We love supporting independent creators over at Rogue. Thank you to everybody in the chat for being here. Hail to you. Please share out the link and smash the melee. Brightest Day had a great comment at 18 after the hour. If you could highlight that. Thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate you. We wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you. Thank you. Comics, did you have any thoughts about this episode overall?
Sadly, no, because I didn't get a chance to watch it. So.
All right, we're going to go through it. I need to call you out.
That's fine.
Yeah, Brightest Day says racism, mortality, technological dependency, morality, and manifest destiny, and that is, in a nutshell, some of the great issues that they cover, and not only just in this episode, but in this series, and this speaks a lot to the old style of storytelling, and this follows like that blueprint, like Deep Space Nine had, where they can present a moral or ethical situation, but they don't browbeat you with it. They give the viewer the opportunity to mull it over themselves. They give you respect as a viewer. And that is what's so important, because they respect your intelligence enough to think over this moral conundrum and figure out where the viewer,
exactly.
come out.
That's the thing that's really kind of missing from modern sci-fi, is that good moral conundrum where you're like, I see both sides.
Yes.
I see, the point of both sides. And it's so hard to make a decision on which one you choose. And I miss those days. I miss
those days. It's so unfortunate, comics. It really is. They just have lost it completely.
Well, because a really good villain is somebody who you can relate to. They're doing all the wrong things for the right reasons, so to speak. Rather than the Joker is great too, but the whole kind of chaotic evil thing. But it's that those really relatable villains. It's like, dude, it's like, I get what you're saying, but what you're doing is wrong.
Well, that's the beauty of like the way that they throughout the series. That's the beauty of how they portrayed Gaius Baltar. Because was he ever really a villain? Or was he just a misunderstood guy that ended up in the worst of circumstances?
I think he was more of an opportunist and a survivor, more so than anything else.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Baltar?
Oh yeah.
My goodness. Yeah. Yep. He was just opportunist. That's all he was.
Well,
he was very.
He was also a coward. But if you look at it, I mean, a lot of people probably put in the exact same situation that Baltar was in. Probably would be a coward too. I mean, that's the main thing, is we all think that that we'd be brave in these situations and we would make the right decisions, but in reality, would probably cower.
Right. But you know what though, Baltar is, I say, one of the most intriguing and complicated characters in the entire series.
Oh, for sure.
He is just so well written and so well acted.
And he's also one of Script Doctor's favorite characters in the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, but you're 100% right, Scott. I mean, he's so complicated. He's complicated in the original series as well. I mean, and think about how many times he betrayed his own species.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
I mean, it didn't run that long, right? It was, but I have that all on disc, and I'm a huge fan of the original. And when this thing came around, I was prepared to be really pissed off at Ronald, right? I was like, right. But you know what? I came around almost immediately, and this version of Baltar, man, I love it, and it setting it up as like the devil and the angel is just the most amazing thing ever, and I have to tell you,
oh god, yeah, that picture.
For sure. Okay, all right. Sorry, I have to see it.
Why you got to do that? Why you got to do that to Angel 6? Don't put me up there. There we go.
Brightest Day brings up a good point. Who in the series carries more guilt, and he argues maybe it's Laura Roslin, and to a degree. There's times that she actually is a villain, you know, a lot of the villainy is fluid because there's enough to go around. I mean, even the most what you perceive to be the most virtuous characters have villainous moments in this show. There's like you know, shades of gray all over the place because that's what humanity's like. You know, there and it's just and I think that's what made this show work. It was done so well in that manner. But again, this was almost a carryover from that same sort of style that Deep Space Nine was, because you know, when that came along in Star Trek, don't forget that was groundbreaking for Star Trek.
It was. I mean, you look at episodes where, like in DS9, where Kira had to go to that moon and evacuate or force the evacuation of citizens so they could. Well, not the Cardassians, it was Bajorans.
Oh, okay,
and
gotcha.
There was a guy that had been there. You know, he escaped the occupation. He'd been living on this moon for, you know, so many years and refused to leave.
Right.
And it came down to an ethical question of, does she force this man to move? Does she use the military force, which is what, you know, she was under as she grew up under the Cardassians? You know, how do you treat that situation? There was very complex yet delicate situations that were always given to you, the viewer, in a show like Deep Space Nine, where you got to decide how you felt, who was in the right, who was in the wrong. That kind of nuance is just lost today in as far as science fiction.
Steven?
Really
you make a good point on that in the correlation between the two, because I think Kira is one of those most complicated characters just as much as Baltar is, because of the fact that she fought the Cardassians. She had all these, you know, she had to help fix and bring back Cardassians and so on and so forth and all that. But yeah, so.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and it's a natural progression with most of that staff coming from that show to this show. Yeah, you know, it just carried on, and I'd add that they took it to another level even on this.
Yeah,
show.
Definitely agree with that. Yeah. But was it because it was on Sci-Fi and not network TV? Do you think that there's a difference between the two? Because it seems to be really a lot softer on the network TV versus, you know, where this was at the time.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't play on network TV. It would definitely, you know.
I think it is too smart for network TV.
God, yes, totally agree.
Nobody would do it because the fact that it's probably way over most normies' heads at that point.
Yeah. And not only that, it was amazing numbers for Sci-Fi back then.
Yeah.
I mean, Sci-Fi had nothing ever like the show.
No.
It was appointment television for 5 years. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, this was, you know, something.
It's amazing that they even did what they did in 5 years, too.
Yeah.
What they were able to accomplish, and it's so rich.
And it didn't get canceled either.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
unlike some other really good sci-fi shows that were on there.
Famous network.
Well, okay, you know, and I get into this conversation all day because we used to regularly, before there was a Kathleen Kennedy, we used to regularly roast Bonnie Hammer because Bonnie Hammer made such stupid decisions when she was in charge of programming. It was just absolutely inexplicable, canceling the things that they had on Sci-Fi at one time, because my God, you had what culture they had Sci-Fi Fridays, what was the Stargates, the Firefly, and BSG. You couldn't do better than that. I mean, that was sci-fi heaven right there.
Dude, and the thing is, this is the one time this is the only thing I think Joss Whedon ever did of quality other than Buffy was Firefly.
Firefly was
You had the holy trinity of shows that spoke to the fans directly, the people who actually would read books, the people who had a background in this genre, right? So anyway, I know we've gone on, and I know that there's a reason for that, but we are 20 minutes ahead.
Jorge mentions the Dresden Files. Yes, dude. That was
Dresden was good too.
Oh, yeah.
Only one season. That's a travesty.
Yeah, they canceled so many things in their infancy. That's what sucked about Sci-Fi Channel. And then they just got away from Sci-Fi almost
Then you had crappy shows like Flash Gordon. It's like, come on.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. The remake of that was. Oh God, it was so awful. I was mad when they finally canceled Warehouse 13 because I really liked Warehouse 13. And
Invisible Man. That was another good one.
It was a weird show that was. Very different to try and get into.
Eureka was good too, and
Eureka was good.
Yeah, I loved Eureka.
Loved
Eureka. That was so good.
That was short lived as well. So
that was one of my dad's favorites. But I don't know. I mean, like I said, Whedon occasionally made some good things, and a lot of them just got killed off for no good reason. One of them being the show that I really enjoyed, and I know that everybody's going to laugh at me now, so that's okay. It's okay. I enjoyed Dollhouse. Did anybody watch it?
Dollhouse.
No, I hated that show.
I never even got into it.
Dollhouse was trash.
Dollhouse
There's the comics I love.
I know. I love comics too.
Warehouse 13 was almost like X-Files TV.
It was.
Yeah.
It was at times. Yeah.
Yeah, and it had they had hot women on there too.
But Eliza Dushku, my goodness, I'm just saying.
Brightest Day agrees with you. Dollhouse had potential that was wasted.
Thank you. It did. They could have done so much with that show. I watched so much stuff. I watched Alias. I watched all that other crap that was around that same period of time. I didn't just because it was there, not because I thought it was brilliant television.
I'm one of the few individuals out there that thinks Joss Whedon's a hack. The only thing I really liked from him,
I totally agree with you.
It was Firefly. But honestly, I think his movies are better than his TV shows.
Serenity was okay. I still can't
Serenity
believe
was.
Serenity was.
I like Serenity, but again, I have a problem with the wash thing. That was
like right off the bat too, right at the beginning too.
That was my big beef with it. But all right, let's jump into the episode.
All right.
Because we're gonna end up sidetracked conversation. So essentially, we start.
I have to get Eliza Dushku off my screen, though. Hang on.
Oh God, no, man!
I'm sure those people in the chat won't complain of looking at Eliza Dushku.
Did something hit the bottom of your desk, Culture? You okay?
Culture's been making all these weird.
Ow, Shazam!
Oh man!
All right, show.
All right, so we start off obviously with the recap from last week. They show where Baltar is talking to the Cylons about finding the way to Earth. They show that the Cylons talking about that the base star sent to that area to investigate the Lion's Nebula was infected by a virus. Baltar boards base star and is told about the beacon that made the Cylons sick. And, it shows Baltar lying that he saw nothing unusual. And then the 6 on the base star that Baltar is on spots the beacon in the recon photos. Then we cut to, after we get through that, we cut to where Apollo is in a Raptor and along with Athena, who is flying it. And there's a Marine strike team aboard. And they are heading inbound to the affected base ship. And they can see that the base star is in poor condition. And that's where we get to the scene where, as you see them flying in, and this is another thing that's so great about this show is the cinematography. When you just see all these Cylon ships, you see the base ship just stuck kind of in a weird tilt. Yeah. And then you see, the Raiders just suspended, just floating. There's nothing, no life to them whatsoever. And it's very eerie and creepy. the vibe is really palpable that you get as they're flying in through this. So so finally they get through the maze of I guess like disabled ships and everything else and debris, and they get the Raptor docked. Everybody gets out and they start moving about the base star and checking doors, corners, so on and so forth. And they start moving.
Shit, that was me. Sorry, I was sharing a link.
No worries. Apollo reports there is no signs of life, and the base star, it seems like it's on just emergency power almost. Back in the Galactica CIC, Admiral Adama and Hilo are listening into the team, and they proceed further into the base ship.
And this is when culture cringes because everyone's hair was a mess.
The recon.
It's true.
The recon team reaches the Cylon equivalent of a CIC, and they find a number of dead skin jobs. Apollo reports back their findings, and Athena says she's going to try to access the database and bring up life support. Racetrack warns her, but Athena goes ahead anyway. She suddenly pulls her hand back. She says that she's okay, but that the connections are corroded.
Yeah, she got Cylon syphilis.
So basically, they see that some of the Cylons are still alive, and there's 5 of them. There's a Leoben, a Simon, an Arendoro, a 6, and an 8. And they kind of all sort of huddle together, and they're trying to pray. And the 8 tells Athena to save herself and get away from them. She asks what happened. The 8 tells Athena that they found a beacon that was infected and that they are all infected. Apollo reports back to Galactica that the Cylons were infected with the disease, and the boarding party has now been exposed. And then we go to commercial. So, what do you guys think of that opening?
Oh, I actually I liked it a lot. Like I said when I was talking earlier about the seeing the ships in disarray, I really liked that. I liked the Raptor hitting them, because it can't help but smack into the ships. Also, the Sharon model called Athena a traitor. That was how she opened that up. First thing she thought was traitor, but then immediately went to save yourself. So even though Athena's looked at as a traitor to the Cylon race, there was still concern there for their sister, which you wouldn't expect that. You wouldn't expect that to come from a machine race. It's just another showing that the Cylons had developed, complex emotions like humans, actually becoming fallible like their creators. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I really I'm kind of really digging at this point in the series the development of the Cylons as a whole, and you touched on it, Stephen, because you can see the concern, the natural concern that all the 8s have for one another, because they consider themselves sisters. They're of the same line, and there's just that natural sort of connection there. And you can see it played out that, like you said, even though that in maybe the sort of collective sense on the surface, they consider her a bit of a traitor. In the end, they don't want anything bad to happen to her.
Right. Right. I mean, it's just little things like that, which are the complexities that, a great storytelling, because that's layered. That's
absolutely.
A layered function of these antagonists who. One of the things I really enjoy about the show is there are antagonists and protagonists. You have them You know who the good guys and the bad guys are, but the complex character creation and writing of this show, sometimes you don't know. Sometimes they swap. The bad guys become the good guys, the good guys become the bad guys. And so in this scene, you just see an example of that type of complex writing that goes into the care and lore that Ronald D. Moore's writers were putting into the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Comics, how do you think that, the evolution of the Cylons during the series, how do you like where they're at so far?
I think it's interesting because it's man, it's been a while since I've watched the show, but just I love how it feels like everything kind of comes full circle by the time you get to the end of the series.
Right.
But yeah, it's interesting because at times you realize that the Cylons are just as petty as the humans.
Well, yeah, but they also, the thing is at the beginning, I know definitely season 1 and 2, you just look at them one way. You look at them as genocidal monsters.
Yeah.
And then there's like a couple moments of season 2 that you start to maybe change expand your view, I should say, a little bit. And then you see something like this where you realize, okay, wait a minute. Maybe they're capable of more than being genocidal monsters.
Yeah. It's pretty apparent that the longer the show goes on, the more human they become.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And more so than other ones as well, too, though.
Mm-hmm.
Especially even in the beginning as well, like 6 and stuff, and her model and her line that has been killed over and over and over again and stuff really starts to form this. I don't know what I'm looking for in terms of words, but just really a real humanism towards her look at how things are working versus just coming out of the bathtub for the first time and not experiencing life.
Mm-hmm. And Furry Kitten also nails it too with the whole idea that they're not just a hive mind.
They didn't carbon copy. They didn't carbon copy the Borg or any
Star
Trek enemies or anything like that. The Cylons were really unique in their in the way they were.
So they kind of the more machine ones were kind of like the hive mind, but as they developed the human hybrids, that they really became more individualistic.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
You know what though, comics, there are episodes coming up in exposition where they show that even the Centurions and everything think for themselves.
Yeah, that was an interesting. That was a very interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's coming up in later episodes, guys, because I think that is we get into season 4 with that stuff. But there's some interesting stuff coming down the pike with the Cylons where you see a lot more development, even more so than this. And Brightest Day said the whole development of Skin Job is an attempt to force evolve.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he's reminded of
good call.
Scar.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Culture,
Drew?
did you have any thoughts?
I'm sorry.
I guess he's away getting a drink still.
Now he's chasing a fly. Earlier on a live stream, a fly got into his house, and he's been coming out with chopsticks all day. Oh, hi, Culture.
Hit the wrong button. Anyways,
that's right. Hi, Steven.
No, I think you guys kind of touched on it all, but I love the development of the Cylons as we went forward. Like Comics was saying, you really got that sense of the evolution and everything else. And I mean, gosh, we're only halfway into the show at this point in time, and you already see the evolution of their thought processes, of their characters. The actors and actresses that play these characters really played distinctly different versions of the same model. I mean, it is ridiculous, and you see this separation of Athena from her model, and you see Caprica's separation from her model. And eventually you see Lucy do a good job differentiating herself from her other versions of her model. So it's pretty impressive. And of course, no matter what model it is, I hate the cavils, but that is what it is.
Yeah, they had to leave one a traditionally static villain.
I actually like Cavill.
And they chose Cavill. But what a great actor to use to portray that villain, because he was perfect at it. The Cavill was perfectly acted.
He was. He does. Well, God, I mean, come on. He does a great job at anything he does. So I mean, it's just. It was easy to not like him. Let's just put it in those terms.
Do you want it to address Ruth Korean's comment there, culture, since you were?
Yeah, sure. They already knew what the beacon was. Even while they were dying, absolutely, they understood that the dangers, if they were exited while they're contaminated, you could see where this would go. Oh, absolutely. I mean, because they all share, the same processes, and when they download, they would be transferring that corruption. Absolutely. I was really impressed with it. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. So, and furry kitten. No, that was another cool thing.
And listen, nobody is going to be upset about a bunch of naked Sharon's furry kitten. Not at all.
Not in the least.
Not in the least.
That's great.
Yeah, Grace Park is kind of hot.
Oh yeah, she is very good looking. Very. Yeah. She like South Korean, or what is she exactly?
I think she's Korean.
Yeah.
Did you say kinda? Kinda hot?
Kinda?
Yeah. She's a smoke show.
She's a smoke. Yeah.
Cavill specifically doesn't wish to differentiate. Yes, that's true, and we're gonna see that when we get into the more Cavill centric episodes later on, and Ruth Korean says the viewer during a commercial break could easily think to themselves that humans would never just exterminate a race, would they?
Right.
Sven, the Naked Nordic Ninja, says the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few is what comes to my mind. It's been a while since I've watched BSG. Yeah, Sven, trust me, you can go on peacock.tv if you live in the States. I'm guessing maybe you don't, so you may have to watch it by other means. But yeah, it's definitely worth brushing up on. Or if you have a VPN, you can watch peacock.tv and just watch all the episodes on there. You just make a free account, and they have commercials if you have a free account, but big deal. You get up and get yourself a beverage, whatever, while a commercial plays, and come back, and it's right there. So there you go. Ruth Korean says, hey, just pointing out, she's Korean American.
She is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Man, brightest day, the typical toxic male response, bunch of naked Sharons all finishing off each other. Sorry, what were you saying? Oh God. See, and of course, out of nowhere, Ruth Korean, yar, I have an eye patch.
Yar.
Nod to Saltai there. All right, are we ready? Since we got through the teaser and obviously through the opening credits, we'll get into Act 1 now proper, and that is we come into the Galactica CIC, where Doc Cottle is briefing Adama, Gata, Hilo, and D. Shout out to Candace McClure. Oh God, another hottie. On quarantine procedures. Cottle wants to know about the prisoners. He says he'll need all of them to help him determine the cause of the disease. As the boarding party flies back to Galactica, the base star explodes. Hilo figures that it must have self-destructed. On the base star, the Caprica and Baltar, Deanna Beers and Baltar 6, they confront Baltar and they want to know how long he's planned to betray them. He pleads his case. Deanna says, well, they know about the beacon. He says, oh, it's all a misunderstanding, and that he's sorry for not being so open. He starts to explain his theory for where it came from when 2 Centurions walk in. Deanna Beers says that they think that he knows more and that he should have told the truth. So we get an interlude in the imaginary, seaside home, Baltar's old home that's in his mind. And he's talking with Angel 6. And he said he doesn't like the pain. And she said, it's all in your mind. And he starts to scream. Baltar 6 looks uncomfortable as she watches Baltar endure the pain, which is Caprica 6 right there. Deanna finally shuts down the machine. She says she didn't want to do it, and neither did Caprica. While Deanna Beers plays with the strand of Baltar's hair, Baltar looks at Caprica 6 and says, I love you. Caprica shows the hint of a smile. Back in quarantine, Hot Dog and Racetrack argue. Doc Coddle interrupts their banter and announces that they are all clean because humans are immune. Apollo orders everyone out. Doc Coddle stops Athena from leaving. He says, not yet. Outside the quarantine, Hilo waits for his wife. Coddle tells him that he hasn't done her blood work yet. Hilo is kind of ticked off by this. He calls to Athena and says, hey, it'll be okay. He tells Coddle to let him know as soon as he knows something. Athena sits alone in quarantine, worried. And that is the end of Act 1. So a lot to unpack there. First off, let's start with Gaius's torture. What did you guys think of that segment?
Torture his ass.
It's hard to feel bad for Baltar.
It really is.
Which means it was brilliantly acted. I mean,
it was too.
He was playing the hell out of the character. And, at the same time, again, you look at someone suffering and it pulls at you. Yeah. And it pulls at you. And so it's one of those things. I mean, I liked the story overall. I mean, they placed their trust in him after they basically told him that he was expendable, right? That they were trying to figure out what to do with it. In previous shows. Yeah. But it was one of those amazing moments at the end of Act 1. I liked it, and I and of course, I do enjoy Baltar screaming. I think that's a party.
Right?
Just me.
All right. Thoughts, Steven?
You know what? Baltar gets to sleep with Xena Warrior Princess and the blonde. A little bit of torture. That ain't not. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Maybe he's into that thing. Maybe he's into that. Right. This is a character that has continuously shown that he is about his own preservation, his own survival. It's hard
absolutely.
It's hard to feel difficult for him getting his just desserts. He spent a year almost on New Caprica, just living it up, drinking and whoring and not giving a damn about anyone or not preparing for anything. And then he was basically a tool for the Cylons who would come down and during the Cylon occupation. As I'd said before, if he had, when we were covering that episode, if he had been feeding the underground information in that position, then I could feel sorry for him.
Yeah, there's this redemption, but there's as like you pointed out, he's out for himself,
right?
And his own preservation really is what it is.
Yeah.
I also enjoy the exploration of just how disconnected he is able to be from reality through Angel 6, and the visions that he has. So that was an interesting look at what was going on there.
Bear, what do you got going on through your mic, dude?
Oh, it's this Samsung headset. I'm on my phone.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, man, because it sounds like you're driving, and man, it's coming through your mic big time.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't even started driving yet. I just got in the van. It's warming up.
Oh, okay.
See, there's the wipers.
but yeah, I was kind of sitting there not feeling too sorry for him either. When I was watching it, because I was like, well, I mean, you get what you're gonna get if you're gonna lie to people that are gonna torture you anyway. So
I guess you could say he made his chase and laid in it.
Pretty much. Yeah. Well, I mean, if I'm sorry, is any threesome worth that price?
I mean, it's Xena.
We all had to think about it. That's funny.
Seriously, I do have to think about it.
All right. Listen, not counting Lucy Lawless and Trisha Helfer, right?
Grace Park.
All right. Damn it.
Lucy Lawless still looks good for her age, even during that running of the show too.
My God.
Yep.
Bro.
Damn.
I remember her from Spartacus, bro. You ain't never telling me she don't look good.
Right?
Yes.
Oh.
I didn't realize that she was in Spartacus.
Yo, dude. In all her glory.
She was in
all her
glory.
glory.
Well, I figured
Oh,
that's
dude,
what
you
referring
see
to.
everything. Oh my God!
I ain't going there. I'm keeping PG-13 tonight.
She is. All I gotta say is, man, she lives up to that last name. She is Lawless in Spartacus.
Right?
Gentlemen, find a bucket of ice water, pour it over your heads, and let's continue to Act 2.
Oh my God, Culture. Go chase a fly.
Come on, man. Just give me a little bit of tidbits there, huh?
Oh God!
Sounds like somebody has a case of the wet noodles tonight, Culture Casino.
Oh man! Oh Jesus! So Fury Kitten says Gaius lives in a state of perpetual self-deception and delusion. Yes,
No, that too.
he really does.
I think the self-delusion stuff is a bit of an act. I think it's really more of a survival instinct than anything else.
Perhaps that
Survival mechanism.
Yeah.
All right.
Fury Kitten says, "Wait, drinking, living it up, and whoring is selfish."
Under normal circumstances, no. I would say it's not a big deal, but in his circumstances, I would say absolutely, yeah.
Some of us are single.
Hail Adega Outlaw.
Hell.
Hail Adega.
What's going on?
Yeah. Oh man.
6 was recently in the TV show Lucifer for a season. God,
Oh yeah, she was great in that.
Oh, dude. Yeah, she played Lucifer's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it was more
Well, before that, she was playing just a lawyer, and then she got possessed at the end of that one season.
Oh yeah, it was great.
That was really good.
Oh my God, that was so good.
She was. I think she's still in the series. I think it just recently ended.
No,
No. They're on 5.
Next on
Got
3.
one more.
She got killed off in one of the seasons and flown to heaven by a Menadil.
Yeah,
there's one more
She
season
came
left.
back.
Yeah.
No.
Well, no, not the being that was Lucifer's mother, but the person she possessed was actually back later on. But that's it.
She comes back later on
because she was saved, like a sacrifice of some sort, or I don't know. It was weird.
I want to say a Menadil brought her back or something like that. I mean, it's been a while since I watched it, but I've only seen it to season 3, so I haven't seen 4 or 5 yet.
No. Eventually, she does get killed. She
in 5
actually killed.
Yeah, she was God's wife.
Yeah, and Amenadiel flies her, not God's wife, but her.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we had the most recent season, which was cool, but that was after we had Eve return from Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
But we have one more season left. And the chick that plays Eve is absolutely crackers in real life, but she did a good job playing Eve.
She's crackers?
As in bonkers.
Yeah, crackers, Cracker Jacks. She's crazy.
Yeah, she's
Really? Freaking hot.
N-A-N-A-S.
She plays some interesting roles, though.
Brightest Day says no shortage of hotness on Lucifer either.
Right?
Oh, very true.
Oh, very true.
Bruce Lombardo.
Hail,
Bruce.
Bruce.
There is never a better day to log on and see at Supreme Heretic stream. Hail and bless all of you. Pray all of you in the chat and in the panel find the source that you seek and profit. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sure.
And hey. Man. We are being right now traditional toxic males, and it is lively.
Oh no!
And that is what it's all about, folks.
Well, did you see that
male toxicity?
Drew, did you see the latest image that Gina Carano put up on her Twitter and stuff? And I go, I gotta be a man. Yum.
Dude,
nothing will beat that. Ethan, nothing will beat that picture she put up on Instagram.
Oh my god! Was that the one?
No,
that wasn't even close.
Which is the one she put up on Instagram.
What you put on Instagram?
Oh, a see-through top. It was about a year ago. It was like a see-through sheer top through a light coming through a window. Oh, we're all nice.
It's just breeze hitting the sweater.
Comics is like, what? What's he talking about?
Damn.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
man.
boy, this is really diverted, hasn't it?
Well,
yeah, we're talking about the show, aren't we?
Hey, this is what happens when the teacher's away.
Right, Raquel's gone.
Raquel's gone. So.
You know what? We're gonna get a lecture next week because she's gonna watch this and she's gonna be like, "Boy,
we're gonna find that normie guy."
And
then guy get it.
It is. It definitely Scott's problem.
Raquel, I'm not sorry for Culture Casino.
And I'm not sorry for Stephen Walton.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so anybody have any other thoughts on the on Act 1? If not, I'll go on to Act 2.
Drew, I like to throw my 2 cents here. On the situation with the beacon, and I'm not sure if we're getting into it later on and stuff like that, but nobody really addressed it, is why they actually brought this beacon on board and how this beacon, we know that it's got some type of rat droppings or whatever it is and stuff that infected the skin jobs, but it seems, there seems to be a conundrum in regards to that question.
Well, they didn't know where to put the probe.
Yeah.
Oh man,
you are wrong on so many levels, Stephen.
Actually,
good.
Stephen, do you have the notes sitting in front of you?
I have. Yeah.
Where are we at? Act 2?
Yes. Yeah. Can you start from Act 2? I need to step away for 1 second. I'll be right back.
Oh boy. In Galactica's break, Coddle enters the cell where the Cylons are being held. He selects Doral, and the guards pull him out. Oh, that's phrasing. Coddle briefs President Rosalind, Admiral Adama, Hilo, and Apollo. He says that they are infected with a common disease carried by rats. Humanity developed an immunity years ago. He can keep them alive with a vaccine, but the Cylons' own antibodies break down the vaccine before it can completely cure them. Apollo argues for getting rid of them, but points out that they were praying a prayer that indicated imminent death without resurrection. Rosalind thinks that they will take a second chance. Admiral Adama talks with Simon. He says that everything was infected. They were left behind out of fear, spreading the virus through resurrection. They were there because Baltar told them that they could find a clue to finding Earth. Gaeta and Hilo are present at the interrogation and are stunned that Baltar is alive. Then Simon explains that Boltar's helping them to find Earth. He says the Cylons are looking for a new start. Then Simon says that he's given them information and wants to know about the medicine. Adama says that Coddle will give it to them, and Simon is led out. Lee starts laughing. Adama wants to know what he's laughing about, and Lee says that he thinks he's found an answer to their problem. They can destroy the entire Cylon race. On Colonial 1, Adama briefs President Roslin on a plan to bait the Cylons. They will wait along a supply line. When the Cylons attack, they'll execute the prisoners who will then be resurrected and spread the disease. A moral debate breaks out between President Roslin and Apollo on one side and Hilo on the other. Apollo says that they are machines. Hilo says that they do not, if they do this, they are no better than Cylons. He also says that Cylons tried to live with them on New Caprica. Roslin bristles because Hilo didn't live on New Caprica and didn't have that experience. Hilo says that instead of looking for the moral consequences, they are keeping the argument aimed at him because he's married to a Cylon. He talks himself out, and Roslin says that she'll take Hilo and Apollo's points under consideration. Adama discusses them. And the two of them leave. So there we go with a moral conundrum after they find this. Does anyone have any thoughts on this scene?
This is exactly one of the scenes that I think I was speaking about when we started this adventure. I think that we're here. These are things you have to make a decision. There are points in time where it's do I do the ultimate evil, or do I temper my reaction and do so accordingly?
God damn, is that yoga on your shit culture?
Oh, yeah. So Mandy said that she wanted to. She's thinking about taking up yoga, and then she was going to do like live streams
on the OnlyFans.
No. I think just on her channel.
Man, I'd super chat that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Some super chats for you.
Oh man,
it's a super slap.
Hail, I'm back. Hail J, Sci-Fi Nation. Hail Cold Blooded Critic.
CBC.
You got the good CDC up in the chat. not the shitty CDC in our society.
No, CBC.
Yeah, Cold Blooded Critic.
Steven knows the probe insertion method. Yes, he does. He's about to practice. It's like daily.
Toxic man flu acid. They catch Cylon chlamydia.
I think it was bubonic plague.
It was the plague.
Toaster Tate, right? Oh, so far that is the comment of the night.
Toaster Tate rot. Space herpes.
God, I love it. Pirates. Wait a minute. Raise your hands if you love the movie Ice Pirate.
Skin job syphilis.
Okay.
Corona.
Space herpes.
Oh man, we got.
I see you got the space herpes finally.
Somebody, Shellback says somebody hosting.
I don't have it on my background. Culture Casino has it on.
Oh no! I just, in case anybody missed the tweet, I just wanted you all to be able to see that. Encourage Mandy to start the yoga streams. I think it's a good way to promote book.
I ain't mad at it.
Brightest day.
Oh my god.
Siplons.
Brightest day.
Oh,
we lost somebody.
That's amazing.
Oh my lord. Yeah, you know, the moral conundrum here. Oh, geez, I can't even start. Really, Parrot Head? Thank you, Drew, for bringing that up and put it in my face. The moral conundrum of literal genocide is what they're
COVID blooded critic. Oh my. CBC.
COVID blood critic. Oh,
God.
man.
I can't.
Clap on.
That's too much.
Clap off. Clap on. Clap off. The silence.
The fucking chat is on fire right now, you guys. This is great. This is just awesome.
Oh, this is amazing. Bring up Talk TMFs.
What time? It's Talks.
Right there.
Is it Cylon?
Oh God, Tox. Oh, dude.
Back then.
Seriously.
Good.
Oh, and Fox, I started work on the T-shirt design
man.
today.
Yeah. By the way, this is a good time to remind folks. Yeah. Unfortunately, unlike some of the other channels of the community, I'm still not monetized yet. I'm about halfway there. We've got 540 subs, I believe. So yeah, just keep getting the word out. And if you would like to help the channel, you could simply just go to paypal.me/Supreme Heretic, and you could super chat in that form if need be.
Culture, could you do me a favor and remind me to plug Supreme Heretics channel on our Rogue Entertainment shows?
Sure.
We're gonna try and help you out, Drew, because you need to hit that. You need to hit that marker, man.
Yeah,
We're
gonna lift you up, buddy.
Brother. We know where to put the probes.
Anyone does? No, it's you, Steven.
All right, so any other thoughts on what was it, Act 2?
Yep. I can move into Act 3 if you want. I just like to touch on the fact that genocide is actually being considered. But I mean, can you blame? Hold on, let me put it on camera. Can you blame the human race at this point? Can we blame them for actually thinking about committing genocide after they themselves really?
Well, they were subjected to agenda and identity politics for a really long time, and the sheer amount and the veracity of the cancel culture was so extreme.
Wow. That was some cancel culture.
They I mean, think about it. I mean, they canceled the colonies, literally. I mean, like, just canceled their asses. And you have the opportunity to turn the tables on somebody who essentially decimated your entire people.
Yeah. Yeah. Does that mean that like the Calvin models are Kathleen Kennedy's?
yeah, sure. Or anybody that has WEF in their resume. So, but yeah, anyway, I'm not making it too terribly political. I just wanted to make it so that people could understand what was happening here, in the decision-making process.
Well, I looked at it this way, though. When if you think about it, when you're watching this episode and when you think about the series up to this point on a whole, okay, so this is for the colonials. They are rallying around the concept very much like the United States was after Pearl Harbor. So when people seem to their confidence wavered, whatever, it was remember Pearl Harbor. For these people, it is, remember the colonies. Mm-hmm. And they can't really get away from that. And in that sort of grief, in that sort of rage, in that sort of, wanting to get even, they forget that, this is a whole other race out there. This is these are other sentient beings. And, you get into the whole moral conundrum of, was there another way to end the war in the Pacific other than to, drop the A-bomb on Japan? So it's very much in that sense harkens back to that dilemma. So, for me, this was that Pearl Harbor mentality for the colonials. Mm-hmm. I mean, am I off on that thinking, or?
No, I don't think you are.
Okay.
Do you want me to go on, Drew?
No, I think you're dead on the mark.
Okay. Yeah. If nobody else has any thoughts, we can move on.
All right.
Oh, Scott, you're lagging.
All right. Act 3 on the Cylon. Right. On the Cylon base star, Baltar is being subjected to torture. Baltar's inner six, that's what they call it, tells him that she can guide him
intersexual.
Through it. I guess intersexual.
Intersexual, is that how you say that?
Intersexual, yes. It's a new gender identity.
Probably.
I'll take that one.
Having an Audi, you have an innie? I mean, what is that exactly? Somebody explain that to me.
Caprica 3 wants Boltar to tell him how the virus was invented. Back in his projections, the Inner Six tells him that he knows that his mind wanders even during lovemaking. She does her best to talk him through the pain. Caprica 3 turns the machine office. She wants to know about the virus. He says that he knows nothing about the virus and it's a coincidence. She doesn't believe in coincidence. Baltar's Inner Six tells him to think of her as a Cylon, not a woman, and she undresses. Baltar then tells her if God exists, then their knowledge is imperfect. He continues on, but Caprica 6 doesn't believe him. She sticks some devices into Baltar's ear. The Inner Six distracts him with sex. This has a bizarre moment, which leads Baltar to cry out that he needs her to believe him because he believes in her. 3 hears all this and seems stunned. She takes the device out of Baltar's ear. Hilo and Athena are reunited. She says Hera's birth led to human cells getting into her body, which made her immune. He then breaks the news to her that the Cylon prisoners will be executed and dumped where a Cylon base star and a resurrection ship are nearby. On Colonial 1, President Roslin and Adama talk. Adama isn't so sure about using the virus as a weapon. Back in their quarters, Athena says that she's made a promise when she was put in a uniform. Hilo seems to want to do something to stop this genocide. Athena then says she gave her word and she will keep it even if she ends up being the last living Cylon. On Colonial 1, Rosalind says the biological weapon can be used by law in times of extreme circumstance, and Adama backs down.
Damn. So yeah, I mean, we're seeing very real discussions here, and man, it's getting really gritty. And the surprise, and you can really see the difference now, where maybe not necessarily at first people could see the difference between Boomer and Athena. Well, you can clearly see it now because where Boomer obviously was a sleeper agent whose loyalty probably would have been there had she not been. Athena's loyalty is definitely there, and she is so much so to the point she's willing to turn her back on her people and be the last living Cylon, and that says a lot too.
Yeah, so you know what, Drew, you got to take into consideration is that those two Cylons both were more exposed to the Colonials over time as being sleeper agents, including the one Cylon, I can't remember, one of the males and stuff, and all that too as well, that kind of formed their positions and all that. And I think that that's the difference between the two factions within that of the Cylons.
Yeah. Wow. DJ Odyssey bringing back the Boxy theories. Boxy will be the big surprise tonight on WandaVision. Boxy is tired of being left out of the new Battlestar.
Right.
He says they missed a big opportunity. Hail Boxy.
There you go, Deej.
Okay, so let's get to fill me in on the Boxy theories.
Oh my God, they're so great.
Yes.
Tox one of the best ones at it too. I mean, you give Deej and Tox a run for their money. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So what it is, comics, we've always had kind of a running inside joke on this show because if you go back from the miniseries and watch, they had a kid and he was named Boxy, and he showed up in all of part of the miniseries, and I believe like the first
6 episodes.
6 episodes. Yeah. And he was only in like 2 of those 6, and basically, after that, he was just gone. Like they got rid of him. Period. So we had all these weird theories as to what happened to Boxy, and so we urged the chat to come up.
Was Boxy supposed to be the kid from like the original series?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay,
or at least a nod to the kid from the original series.
Right.
Yeah, I guess they couldn't figure out what to do with him.
Yeah.
And so they just never explained it.
Oh, okay.
Wait, who you guys all talking about?
Boxy.
Yeah.
Who's
Okay, I
Boxy?
think I vaguely remember this kid.
Yep. The
That's
kid
the
that rode
question.
the kid that rode shotgun with Boomer and the Raptor. Yes, that was the kid. If you think back to the miniseries, guys.
All I remember. Oh,
Yeah. So there was supposed
Boxy
to
and the
be
Daggett. That's right.
there was supposed to be a Boxy in this show. The thing is the show is so serious that I don't even really think they had a use for the character because they really couldn't go on with the show being this dark and gritty.
Yeah,
With
it wouldn't work with the kid and his dog, or a kid and his cyber dog.
yeah,
oh,
exactly.
yeah. I know what you're talking about now. Okay.
Yeah,
That wouldn't have worked. Yeah,
exactly. And then that's why they just scrapped the character. But the thing is
yeah, that's right. Boxy was he was played by Noah Hathaway in the in the 70s series.
Yep. Yeah, sci-fi.
Yeah, that
that's
was that
where
one
a
when,
lot of us
yeah.
watch it.
Yeah, that was that dynamic where Apollo was having that fling with that prostitute / whore on the Pegasus.
Oh, that was that was
way up there.
That was way
it was way
before
back
that.
there.
Oh, we're talking about two different.
But there was a Boxy theory.
Yeah, there wasn't Apollo getting in that Boxy.
I'm way off here, guys.
Apollo got in some box, but not that Boxy.
Yeah, I was gonna say wrong kind of box.
But yeah, they Brightest Day says they couldn't Wesley Crusher him.
It's too early for that.
Though I have to admit the Daggets were freaking cool from the original series.
Bruce Lombardo says, I'm waiting for author Stephen Walt to do Alex Jones impersonation. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, or I'll eat your ass. And I just lost weight, and I'm hungry.
Oh, come on, Steven.
I don't do it, I don't do it. No.
Oh, eat that ass.
Eat that ass.
That's Steven Seagal says, can I be a fat Cylon?
Comics, you don't understand these vicious bastards that call themselves my friends. They will clip that and they will use it against me. That
you were so paranoid.
Yeah, I am at this point.
Nobody does that. Nobody does that to you, man. Nobody does that.
That look. Oh, it's priceless.
If Boxy was full time, he would have ended up like Walt on the TV show Lost. Kid probably grew and looked 5 years older, but in the show, months went by. Sci-Fi Nation says Starbuck was just a slut. Sorry, but she was. Oh, dude, Starbucks slander. Ugh. No,
oh, dude, I love Starbucks.
No, she was a total slut. Come on.
She was.
She was. She was a whore.
But
the dudes made the sandwich.
Man.
That's what it was.
Hey, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever works.
It's not like we can't say the same thing for Apollo too. So
right? He was all over the place as well too.
Yeah, he was.
But Steven, are you really somebody to call out somebody making a sandwich for a lady? I'm just saying.
I hate you.
Toxic Man Flu. Boxy Theory, $324.54. Boxy bummed because his Daggett was melted down into a Cylon probe. His job as a host of the Picard after show. Man.
This comic's also pretty good.
Oh, man. All right. Take care, Jorge. Good night.
There's Jorge.
Good night.
Bruce Lombardo, I'll eat that ass.
What's wrong with
man.
You see, Drew can say that and get away. He's not going to get clipped.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get clipped. People have no mercy on the Asian either.
They will clip me like Sporking's balls.
I think that's all in somebody's head.
Hail, Don. Great to see you, buddy. My colleague Donald Edmonds from Bounding Into Comics is in here.
So I had this amazing joke, this incredible one-liner that Drew left me open for, but I'm trying to figure out if it was more racist or sexist, and so I had to check myself before I wrecked myself. It was not good.
Yeah, Fury Kitten.
Culture, you're too old to use hip lingo. I'm sorry. Don't try that again. Thank you.
Fury Kitten, in reference to Starbucks, says she even admitted to banging half the fracking fleet. Yeah.
Yep, she did.
Everyone was a slut. Yeah, dude. A lot of people were sluts on the show. To be fair.
Hey, you know what? With a show full of beautiful people, would you not?
Yeah, no kidding. Right?
Exactly. I would have been. Oh my god! If I would have had a chance, I would have tapped Starbucks. Hell yeah!
I'd have been reloading.
You know who else is nice looking? The one that was in the CIC all the time.
Duala.
Yeah. Duala.
She is smoking hot.
Future ex-wife Candace McClure. Hell,
man.
Sci-Fi Nation. That's what I'm worried about with the new Galactica show they're talking about putting out. Is it's going to be like they're going to try to do like this hip millennial show, and it's going to wind up like Party of Five in space or something.
Yeah, there's no information. There's no information on that. They just said that it sounds like they're going to try and explore what Ronald D. Moore did in that time period. Explore offshoots and stuff like that. Yeah.
What they're going to do is that the way they're selling the show is it's supposed to be a continuation. And it's the idea that it's a cycle. So they're setting it up like the original series was one of the iterations of the cycle. Ronald D. Moore's is another iteration. And now you're going to have this new iteration. And it's the idea that it keeps repeating itself. It's like that is a terrible idea for the show. Yeah. It really is.
Yeah, it is. But the thing,
but now we're going to have non-binary.
And look who's writing it, and look who they're writing.
I have no idea.
The guy from what is it? iRobot.
No, it's the dude that the production company that's doing it is the guy that did Mr. Robot. And if
Mr. Robot.
Was
it Sam Insmith or something like that?
Yeah. Sam Comics.
Yeah. And here's the thing about that, because I've been, regularly, I write all the BSG articles for Mounting and everything like that. And I can tell you guys what I know so far. They are trying to do exactly what Comics Division said. They're trying to tie it in as part of that cycle. But the problem with Esmail is he is one of those TDS sufferers. He's big leftist identity politics. And I am very concerned about this next version of BSG being super woke.
It's hard because was it not iRobot?
Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot, thank you. That was a great show. It started off as a great show. And then obviously
but it gets worse. Michael Leslie's actually the writer on it, and it's already going to be a powerful, feminine, brave, female-driven show. I'm just telling you, it is going to be full of political garbage and agenda.
I'm just
of course it is, man. It's 2021, man. Come on.
Yeah. I'm not even interested.
Fury Kitten presents the politically correct version of Apollo's.
Apollo X, yeah.
Alex.
My video that I actually did covering the reboot has actually done pretty well.
Yes,
I was back in holy shit! I did that video back in November.
All of my BSG news pieces I do, they all get big. I mean, my biggest number is 500 views on a video. And that's pretty good for me. So, but yeah. So,
Cylon X is the proper term for the current age. Oh man, Star
Star
Ruble.
The question is, what are they hitting at? Like, Malcolm X or the Gender X? I mean, I guess it kind of works for both at this point.
Oh God, no, Don! Damn you, Don!
Oh no!
I told you, man. They're going to do a non-binary Starbuck. It's going to happen. They've already announced it.
How the hell is Starbuck going to hump everybody?
Oh, and the other thing too. This is the great part. Initially, the woman that they cast to play Starbuck was the girl that plays Iris West in the Justice League movies.
Flash?
Yeah, in Flash. Yeah. So
Flash movie or TV show?
The movie, I believe. She's black in the movie, right? Or is it the TV show?
TV show. She's black.
Is she a Transformer?
I think she's black in the movie too. Anyway, so she dropped out to do the Flash movie, and they're like, well, we just can't hire another person of color. We gotta up the ante. So they up the ante, made her non-binary.
God
help us.
Right.
All right.
Because you can't have a normal person anymore.
All right. Well, let's jump into where are we? Act
4.
Act 4. All right. So Galactica jumps away from the fleet, and it shows region of space. Galactica jumps in. Gator reports there is no sign of Cylons. Athena and Racetrack ready themselves in a Raptor. Hilo takes his dog tags off and climbs up a ladder. Hilo starts to unscrew a panel. Tyrell stands on the flight deck. Vipers are launching. Hilo disconnects something and puts the panel back on. In Galactica CIC, raiders are spotted. Base Star and Resurrection ship jump in. Adama orders the execution of the prisoners. Vipers engage the raiders. Lee orders headshots. The guard... You take that another way. The guard has trouble with it. Lee overrides the door and opens it. Lee goes in and finds that the Cylons are already dead. Apollo reports to Adama that the Cylon prisoners are already dead and they missed their window. Adama orders the Vipers to be recalled, and Hilo tells Athena that someone will be coming for him or her. He said he loves his race and his ship, but he couldn't let the atrocity happen. Athena tells him that she loves him and always will. In her quarters on Colonial 1, Admiral Adama tells Rosalind that prisoners died of asphyxiation and that someone manually reversed the airflow. Rosalind is sure that there are only one or two suspects. Adama says that there will be no investigation. Rosalind is kind of taken aback by this and doesn't like it. Adama goes on to say that Coddle thinks that the virus is similar to a simple contamination of a beacon left in their sick bay caused by little more than a sneeze. He also says that the virus is exactly like one from 3,000 years ago, which is about the time that the 13th colony left for Cobol. Rosalind realizes that they are indeed on track for Earth, but so are the Cylons. And that is the end of our episode.
Dun dun dun.
I don't know where to come out on it. I still don't know where to come out on Hilo's actions. I get why he did it, but I'm not sure where I come out on that.
Yeah, it's kind of a difficult question, to be honest, because he loves Sharon, and I think he has some type of sympathy towards the other skin jobs that are in the prison, and then trying to commit actual genocide on the rest
that's
of
right.
this.
Hilo married Sharon. Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a while,
So,
like I said, since I watched the show.
Shame on you, comics. Jeez.
I was trying to remember, man. It's like Athena. That was like another Sharon, right?
Right? Yeah. So, because she had another name before that because they renamed her. When she transformed or
she went from Boomer to Athena.
That's it. Yeah.
Was it Boomer? I thought Boomer stayed Boomer.
She went from Boomer to Athena.
Yeah, thanks
They
a lot.
renamed her because she was different.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that's kind of like women don't know where their parts are.
Thank you.
If there's a gash,
Oh man.
Yeah, I think
Listen.
it has. I think it comes down to that idea of that what do you call it? Couldn't live with themselves, knowing what they were going to do, letting the resurrection ship, jump into proximate location and stuff where they were at and stuff, and kill them and try and transfer this disease onto the rest of the skin jobs and all that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't even make sense though to me though. How would that which they're infected from, these skin jobs and then downloading into new skin jobs that were not actually infected? You're almost
how would that
saying,
work?
How would that work? I don't get that.
Unless it's basically carrying the DNA patterns.
Yeah, exactly.
From the virus into the new body.
Yeah, that's essentially what they're saying. It's carrying the genetic sequence with it.
And it would have to, if you're going to create the exact replication of something in another area, you're sending all of that data, right, to the next symbiote. Essentially. So, I mean, that's essentially what would happen, which means that the genetic makeup of any foreign bodies would be intact as well.
Would be replicated.
Yeah. So,
thought process. Would it actually be that way? Probably not. Not only that,
I doubt
consider this. I mean, we're talking about a fairly advanced technology. You would actually probably have a scrubbing system in the way, like a firewall that would that would prevent the malware from traveling.
You would think that.
You would think.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the skin jobs.
I guess my antivirus isn't up to date.
Right, exactly.
Windows.
Yeah.
They needed a VPN.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is even if that worked somehow, they were immune when they were on what is the main planet? The stuff, the Colonial One or Caprica, and stuff. They were immune to the radiation and stuff and all that stuff. So, and there was no residual effects from that, like it would affect an actual human. So there had to have been, something that would prevent them from actually getting it. And I don't buy into that whole DNA sequence would carry on to the download skin jobs. So
yeah, I mean, it was a calculated gamble. I don't think the logic was flawed in the planning, but I think eventually, they would have adapted and beat it anyway. Exactly. But it would have taken a whole lot of Cylons with it. I mean, they would essentially have become like an endangered.
You know what though, Drew? Because if that worked, then why didn't the Colonials come up with another type of biological weapon though? Then, if they were that easily, be destroyed by some simple, rat poop or whatever the hell it was,
Well, it was a fluke that they even found that probe.
Yeah, I also think it's probably they just didn't have the technological know-how to kind of engineer a bioweapon like that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, it was like, how many scientists did they have left at that point? Not really a whole lot.
Baltar.
Yeah, Baltar.
Well, no, they had that guy, but he was more of a medical doctor. They had
they had that one guy who was like a surgeon who was like performing back alley abortions because of what was going on.
He was killing other,
Well, because that was the thing that was really interesting about the character, which I and not just the whole thing is like when you only have like a handful of people left. I mean, what do you do at that point? Do you make abortion illegal? And that's kind of what the president did. And so he was like performing back alley abortions. It's like, I get the point of both. It's like, but the human race is like, on a razor's edge at this point. Do you make abortion illegal to keep the species going? It's like, it makes sense to me. But at the same time, you're violating people's rights.
All right.
At this time, they only have about 50,000 people left. You only need 10,000
Yeah.
of a
Well-
good makeup to.
But the thing is that those numbers kept dwindling throughout the
Yeah.
season. I mean,
No
that's
kidding.
just the season
That
of the
was cool,
series.
though.
I mean, every
Yeah.
episode began with
Yeah.
less numbers than before.
Yeah, that's good
we're-
though.
I believe.
Is it?
I believe it.
Well, no, I know what you mean. Yeah.
At the time of this one, I believe we were at 41,420.
Oh, okay. Well, I was way off then.
So,
Yeah, because I want to say, I mean, it gets to the point like after the that one ship explodes in the season, the pleasure
Yeah, but
yacht.
there's only like 200.
Oh,
people.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that one.
There's like a
yeah.
huge chunk that goes
Yeah.
out with it. I mean, I want to say at some point in time, the numbers drop down to like, 30,000.
Yeah, I think they did. I think you're right.
I mean, I also want to say maybe 20, but I mean, the numbers dip.
Yeah. Yeah, because technically this wasn't a bioweapon. Sci-Fi Nation's right. It was just like a remnant of.
It was the
Right.
plague. I mean,
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
that,
exactly,
it's still around today, but we have modern medical technology to
Mhm.
fend it off, and odds are the majority of the people nowadays have a form of immunity to it. So
Exactly.
See, Toxic thinks this was stolen from War of the Worlds, so, or it's similar to something in War of the Worlds. The 5 progenitor models would have come from a time which the other 8 were generated and should have been immune.
That
as
was
they
the
are
other thing
also
too.
from that time. Yeah.
Yeah. And how
Oh,
the hell
yeah.
were they on? How the hell were they on Caprica for all those years, allegedly spying and stuff, and not coming? Not becoming immune to, the environment around them too.
Well, the Cylons in this show, they technically weren't on Caprica. The only one that was sent there was Caprica 6.
yeah,
Sick.
that's the reason why she's called Caprica 6.
Because she was supposed to, seduce Baltar and gain access to the defense mainframe, which is what touched all this up.
Yeah, did it ever explain how she ended up being like his angel?
No.
She was just like legit an angel thing. That's right, because the whole thing with the
Lost his
spiritualism
mind.
on the Cylon side.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, either it could be the fact that he lost his mind, and he's guilty, but at the same time, was it Caprica 6 ends up with her own Baltar or angel Baltar?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or
Yeah,
exactly.
And a lot of this stuff is gonna play out, in the later episodes. And we have another Boxy theory for DJ Odyssey. Boxy theory, hearing that they needed a scrubbing system, he volunteered. Unfortunately, Boxy entered the wrong hole. It was lost for weeks inside Kara Thrace, failing to attach his bungee cord.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
I think there was a missing comma there.
Yeah. Hail Justin Proper's in the chat.
What's up, Justin?
By the way, that's the reason that I was running late, so you can blame Justin.
Yeah.
What?
We had also our friend Amber, the better looking half of Ords.
And just an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah, Cassie Queen Amber is wonderful, and so is Ords, man. Good people, great couple, and they are great friends. So I'm very thankful that she stopped by, and of course, we've had great participation in the chat tonight, man. I really appreciate you guys because you guys are all kicking ass tonight as far as participating with us. So final thoughts on this episode. I thought it was well written. I thought it really kind of showcased the way that you should showcase a moral or ethical dilemma. And I would probably I think very highly of this episode. I give it an 8.5, but that's just mine. So
it needed more Grace Park.
Okay.
There you go.
So what was your final thoughts on the episode, Scott?
I thought it was pretty interesting and stuff. It really put in perspective a lot of ethical questions, and even in our own modern world of things that we have to deal with and make hard decisions on, and what's morally right and what's morally wrong, and all that. Especially with God, I can't remember his name. Was it Halo or
Hilo?
the guy that's married to Sharon Hilo and stuff like that. I thought that you know, he made a call and he did what he did. We might not agree with it, but you know, it's a moral dilemma, you know, and I think that's what it really comes down to, the entire episode, of really thinking about the consequences of someone's actions that could potentially kill an entire race of species of people or otherwise. And so, you know, yeah.
So, hey, what score would you give it? 1 to 10.
I would probably be around 6.5, maybe 7,
Okay.
maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move over to comics division.
What?
What would you say on a whole from discussing this episode? What you think of it, and what score would you give it?
This is the thing with not having watched the episode. It's kind of hard to give it a grade. I mean, just wild ass guess. Based off what we talked about, I'd give it a 7.
Okay.
I probably, if I watched it, I would rate it higher, but I'd give it a 7.
Okay. Culture.
Oh, this is an 8.5, easy. It's again one of those where you have to dig deep inside, and struggle. The same as the characters are in the episode with their decision making process. That's important. So I'm thinking 8.5 right in there. So yeah. Oh, Sci-Fi Nation. I guarantee you that Comics Division has watched the episode, just not very recently.
I watched it originally when it aired. I mean, I watched the show religiously when it was on TV.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. The
So
thing,
it's like it's been what, like 2 decades at this point.
Yeah. Well, no, it's
Yeah.
it went up. It ran from 03 to 08. So it's been 13 years.
Yeah, it's been well over a decade. I just don't remember the episode.
But then hail to our buddy Ord Sport. He's now,
and I'm also tired too.
Yeah,
so.
he's now in the chat, and Heretic Prince. Does BSG have the women in it showing on these avatars? Yes, it surely does. It is well worth the watch.
Yes.
The scenery does reward you. Boxy Theory, number 70, 69 plus 1 finger. Having left Galactica behind, Boxy found true peace working as a copy enema specialist at Walton's Day Spa and Coffee Bar in Deep Cave Springs, Wisconsin.
Dude, you got a full screen Walton right now. Just that look. Oh, too late.
Oh man,
that head shake of disapproval was priceless.
Yes, it was. That was. The episode also sets the seed for a lot of the future episodes, and also the fact that as an infection can spread, they only need one Cylon to be killed. All right. So Heretic Prince says, I am indeed a fan if it has all those hot women.
It does.
Yeah.
All the beautiful people are there.
Yep. So Steven, what was your thoughts on this episode and score?
I thought it was an 8, but I got to give it a negative 6 inches because they didn't give me enough Candace McClure. 7.75. 7.75.
All right.
And Candace McClure is like smoking hot. The fact that Apollo married her, and then promptly cheated on her with Kara. It's like, come on, man.
And what,
You're
you know
a
what?
dumbass.
How do you cheat on that?
Well,
How
seriously.
did you cheat on that?
It was fat. It was Fat Lee. Sorry,
That's
Jane.
true.
I know Jane's not here, but it was Fat Lee Adama.
Fat Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was a great fat suit they put him on.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Beautiful
cool.
people. Oh, the beautiful people.
But
Nah.
Oh, the
But-
beautiful people.
yeah, but you know, the Sci-Fi Nation said Kara cheated too. Yeah, she did.
Oh, God,
and-
yeah.
Yeah, she did. She absolutely did. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, God,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah. It takes two to tango.
This show, I don't think that we'll, I don't think that we'll see something, you know, this organically good again, because at the time, don't forget when this show ran on television, when I really want to say when it caught its stride during season 2 and pulled in all the viewers that it did, this was the number one show on television, folks. This was Game of Thrones before there was a Game of Thrones, as far as a popularity explosion. Okay, this was, you know, the number one thing on TV, and it grew organically. And this was something that took off by word of mouth, because, you know, back then there wasn't a huge amount of social media presence. It was more the people would call up their friends, be like, "Oh my God, you got to watch this show. This is good."
Also consider this. It was a unique vehicle to make a fledgling cable channel successful.
Oh, God.
I mean, sci-fi was not something everybody had and or paid attention to.
Yeah.
I would argue that they were already kind of getting there with Farscape. I want to say, honestly, in my opinion, this was peak sci-fi.
Yeah, this
Right.
was,
Before it
because
started
after
trending
this,
back
it
down.
just went. It just nosedived.
Yeah, that's kind of the biggest thing.
That's
Is like
all.
there was not a show that replaced Battlestar Galactica.
They tried.
Well,
they tried with
yeah,
Caprica. They tried reloading with Caprica. They tried a few other things, but honestly, I mean,
But Caprica really was very CW.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was nowhere near
It was
what
very
it should
family
have been.
drama.
Yeah,
it was family drama.
That's basically
Yeah.
what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, Caprica reminded me so much of a soap opera, whereas Battlestar was a legitimate drama, and that's what
Yeah,
I think pulled me into the value of Battlestar. And Sci-Fi Nation is exactly correct, because when it came out, like many other people, I felt the way that he did. I was a child of the '78 series. I remember that. I remember that from my childhood. So that was what had caught on to me. And as he said, I wanted to hate this when it came out, but it was just so damn good. And that's what had happened to me after I watched the miniseries Sci-Fi. I watched the miniseries, and it just hooked me like none other. And I was like, okay, I'm on board for this being a show. And you know, yeah, I mean that was the thing with this show. And again, this was organic. I don't think we're ever going to get there again, at least not in the modern era, at least not
And the
now.
thing is,
I don't.
and Drew, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to do this Boxy Theory real quick, and then go ahead, have at it, guys. Boxy Theory. Boxy arrived on Earth after a freak storm sent him to Earth time 2021. Having no daggets to train, he spent the rest of his time creating attack deer to lurk outside Jane Theory's house. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Were there deers? Were there deers?
Yes, they had teeth and they bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to get bit by a deer.
Don't get bit by a deer.
You don't want to get gored by one either.
Yeah.
You also don't want to hit one with your car.
No. Steven, I think you need to play the PSA.
You know
by
what?
Jane Theory.
Yeah,
Fury
Fury Kitten.
Kitten?
You might be right about that. That
let
was
me find it.
Million Nation. Alien Nation's got a very interesting. It's a very interesting property that I wish that they would revive and stuff, but not in this climate.
I wouldn't want them to revive it right now, though. That's
No.
They will
God,
kill
no.
it.
God, no.
They
will
would
so ruin it. Hey,
Well,
at least they can do non-binaries. They can probably do non-binaries, right?
Well, if you remember, just a few years back, I want to say it was around 2017 or so. They tried to do. They tried to bring V back, and it wasn't even close to.
Oh God, that show was terrible.
It was awful because they again laced it with politics. Obviously it was ABC that put it out. They interspersed identity politics into it and a bunch of woke shit, and it didn't turn out to be anywhere close.
I got to rewatch it. I don't remember that being there. I just remember the show just being garbage.
Well, the show was garbage too.
Yeah, and they brought in the woman who was on Firefly.
Oh, Inara. Marina Baccarat did.
Yeah, and then they brought in Supergirl, I think, from Smallville and stuff too, as well as her daughter. They were trying to use that appeal and stuff. It was horrible.
But Karen, however you say her name,
Marina Baccarat.
Marina. She has appeal. She was great in Deadpool. Okay, here we go, guys. This is a PSA. You absolutely have to watch, my friend.
Oh God, not this.
I'm not. Let me tell you, I'm not a huge camper. I will go out. I'll go outside and then come back in quickly. I'm not gonna stay outside. I'll stay outside. Like I will sleep outside my house, but going into the woods, no. Not happening. Steven says James is not a nature chick. Confirmed, dude. You knew that. You had to know that. I have friends. I think I mentioned this before. I'm into archery. I don't know if I said that before. And I've had friends who have tried to get me to go like hunting. I'm just like, no, I'm not going to put myself in the middle of the woods with animals. No, not trying to do that. Not trying to get that, getting bit by a deer or whatever. Bit by a deer. No.
Oh my God.
Steven says Jane haunted in the city with her bow. I don't, but guess what? If I ever needed to, I could. I could hunt if I had to. Ep.7 says Jane, deer don't bite. No. Bit by a deer. Anything with teeth bites. I don't care what y'all say. Bit by a deer. It does something. It can kick you. It can stab you with those horns. Etep says, I don't do archery, but I have rifles and pistols for stress relief. Yeah, I go to the range sometimes. That's antlers, dude. Steven. Antlers, horns, sharp things on their heads. It's all the same. Antlers, horns, no. Antlers, horns, no. Antlers, horns, no. Antlers, horns, no. Bit by deer. It's all the same, Steven.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That is so funny.
Jane cracks me up.
That. Oh yeah.
That brings
I
a
saw
whole
that
new,
on Nina's channel.
that brings a whole new meaning to the term "Dear Jane" letter.
Yeah.
Bit by deer. No. Bit by deer.
That video was stuck in my head for a week. Thank you.
Oh God, Steven, that was the best remix I've
Yeah, that was great. That was great. That was great.
We love Jane.
Yeah.
Jane is
Isn't Jane also a lawyer?
Yeah. She's gonna sue the fuck out of us. Jane's gonna be like, "Fuck you guys."
Bit by a deer.
Oh,
Bit by a deer.
Yeah, Jesus.
I lost it. Oh my God.
If it has teeth, it bites.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good rule of thumb there, Culture.
Oh, all right. Well, man, this show has been great tonight. we've gone through an hour and 48 minutes of hilarity, and
I guess I should have pushed my stream to 11. I guess I could move it back to 10:30.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. So,
By a deer.
oh,
No.
hail, Moira Kitty, great to see you. Thanks for popping in and
Moira.
checking things
Moira.
out.
Hey.
So,
It's
yeah.
before somewhere.
But anyways, we'll go around and we'll let everybody plug their channels. Obviously, don't forget that following this stream, we will have Comics Division going live, and he will be on and check him out immediately following this stream. So,
well, not immediate. I mean, he's still got like 30 minutes. But
Really?
yeah.
What are you discussing, Comment?
What's that? Oh, good Lord. I already forgot.
Discussing
We're talking about the Dr. Seuss stuff. We're also talking about Static getting a new origin story around BLM, and there's the Bob Chapek stuff that Steven kind of covered earlier today. And there's something else too, which I completely forgot. I think I stuck it in the chat.
Yeah.
What's up?
Every Thursday, Moira, usually I know I go live at for Pegasus, and then usually Comics Division, we jump over on his stream. It
was the Amazon thing, the Amazon box, and some guy in Germany that had a toothbrush mustache.
What?
Named Adolf. Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No.
Oh, dude, it's basically people complained about the new icon for the Amazon app looking like Hitler.
Yeah. I did hear about that.
Covered that on TR4. We had fun with that one. Yeah.
You know who had a good time with that was Timcast. Tim Pool did.
Oh, I bet he did.
Somebody actually made an actual face with all that and stuff. It was pretty interesting. So
yeah, they're all right. Let's go around and time for everybody to go ahead and plug their channels. Before we move on to the people on the panel, I just want to say there's some criminally undersubbed channels in our community. Please subscribe.
Drew being one of them.
Please subscribe to Moira Kitty. Subscribe to Sci-Fi Nation. My buddy Jay, I've known Sci-Fi Nation for a while. He's got a good channel. He does all ages content. He has Mrs. Sci-Fi Nation and the little one on at times as well. So there's interesting content on Sci-Fi's channel. Of course, also check out DJ Odyssey. DJ does a lot of community streams, has people on, and just talks about life and, of course, the fight in getting our entertainment back. And as always, subscribe to Ord's Board because that's our boy. We love Ord's and we love Amber. And we will go around the panel now, and we will start with Just a Normie.
Hey everybody, my name is Scott. I'm the host of Just a Normie. I created that actually because of it's all Nerdrotic's fault and stuff. Because he's always calling people just the normies and stuff. So I did it kind of as a parody thing. But I cover a lot of cultural, just BS that's going on and stuff like that. I'm also doing a series right now of I'm reviewing a TV show, Gotham, all their villains, and doing a compare and contrast to their comic book counterpart, pretty much from the classical age of comics. I drop that every other Wednesday at 12:15 p.m. And I usually just do a lot of different videos and stuff. My latest video is on the race swapping of Superman, the racist POS that they're hiring with and stuff. I'm a big hater of J.J. Abrams. I can't stand that piece of garbage and stuff. He destroyed my beloved Star Trek. But yeah, you can find me over there. Like, subscribe, share. I really appreciate you guys inviting me on. I've followed Drew and comics, and I just found out about the other two gentlemen and stuff. I do follow the other gentleman because he's on Nina Infinity's channel quite a few times and stuff. But yeah, and you can find me on Twitter as just a normie 5. And yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, and before we move on, also want to give a shout out to Bruce Lombardo. Sub to Bruce. He's starting to put out some content on his channel.
Oh, that's awesome.
So check out Bruce Lombardo, as he streams every so often. You know that he does different things. So check him out. And we will go over to the man who will be live in a little while, Comics Division.
Hey. Follow me on Twitter. Mine's the YouTube. I'm kind of tired. We're not going to stream very long tonight, folks. I dropped 2 videos today. I was up rather late night. I had a late night last night working on my video for Unsafe Space, which dropped today, and then I also dropped my my video about Ta-Nehisi Coates writing Superman, and I'm all for it. I think it's a great idea. The reason why I think it's a great idea, well, you have to go watch the video, find out why.
Ooh,
nice.
Yeah,
that is what we call a tease in the business, folks.
Well, yeah, if I just tell everybody why, then they won't watch the video. So,
yeah. All right. So we will check you in a bit, sir, and we'll go over to the man with the flowing hair, Cuddles Casino.
Well, hello, everybody. And I bring to you a very special message.
Sea Mountains.
I fucking hate you, culture.
Steven searches the world for the perfect beans. Reach for the quality.
It's propaganda.
Reach for the growing line of accessories.
Oh, culture. That was good.
Welcome, everyone, to a lot of fun with all these great human beings. If you're not subscribed to those of these people on the chat, please do so. If you're not subscribed to the amazing channels, such as Moira Kitty, my buddy Storyman Jack, Bruce Lombardo, Wes Moody, so many other people there, my buddy DJ Odyssey, Sci-Fi Nation, go check out all these great creators. They are wonderful human beings, and they will entertain you when not a lot is very entertaining right now. So check them all out. Come and check out my channel. We got the 6-Minute Daily coming up tomorrow morning, as well as the about midday for most people in the United States. I do the Friday pre-flight. So come join me in the lounge where we try to guess what all of the great shows are going to be talking about all weekend long, which would include Friday Night Tights, where you can find Comics Division tomorrow, and other lucky people.
Oh, you know what? I also forgot to plug the roundtable on Sunday, since Deej is also in the chat. So, every Sunday we do the WandaVision roundtable over at Big Afford Entertainment, Anzo's channel. Anzo's a great dude. Go sub to him as well.
That's a great channel. I love the roundtable.
Yeah, you would think, Bigaford would have invited me by now. But hey, whatever. It's okay.
There's a lot of interesting opinions about WandaVision, especially comics.
Oh, I have some opinions.
Yeah, we have a lot of opinions.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow's episode, because I think Bounty just did an article about how the creator basically said expect a big bag of disappointment.
Yeah.
which is what I said.
Who called that?
Did. Yeah.
Who called that?
The showrunner, he said it was going to be fans are going to be disappointed.
No. What I mean is, I think this entire community, they all called that.
Yeah.
Dude, I was calling it before they decided to fire Carano, and that didn't help. You want to just look at Google Trends since they fired Carano, kids. Disney all around is cratered. They have been.
I had no desire I had no desire
Anyway,
to watch it.
It is what it is. But regardless, check out all these amazing humans, which I guess I was finishing out and got interrupted by somebody who's vastly my superior, but that's okay. Anyway, and then of course I'm going to toss it over to the man who plugs the coffee line, the man who plugs other things, the man who has a book that he plugs. He plugs stuff. He plugs things.
He's also a dead sexy man too.
Yeah.
Oh my!
He was wearing a man bun-ish thing last night. We were calling him out on it, so I don't know what's going on.
And hail to Wes Moody of the Wes Moody webcast.
Well, hey, culture. We're trying to move away from using things like gendered language, like man. It's not referred to as a bitch bun.
Oh, punk ass bitch bun. That's right. I forgot the nomenclature there. I apologize.
Yeah. Hail to Wes Moody. Subscribe to Wes Moody's channel. I'm on Wes Moody's channel quite often, and Wes does a great job of talking politics and current events. So check him out. I know, but I just wanted to give him an extra plug.
Okay, and for the record, whoever said bullshit about me and Wes's friendship, Wes and I are fucking best friends, so don't even fucking go there.
Hey, watch the language,
I
God
curse.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Look.
Frack.
Look,
Frack.
that's the problem.
Frack it.
Yeah, frack it.
Yeah. By the way, guys, seriously, if you have long hair and you pull it back, you should only be doing that for 3 reasons. 1, you're getting it on. 2, you're riding a motorcycle. Or 3, you're in battle. That's it. If otherwise, don't pull your hair back. Don't do it.
All right. Let's go over to Steven.
I fucking hate you.
I love you passionately, but okay.
Oh my God, dude.
If you were to rotate that, it might actually look like a vagina.
Hey now.
Oh my God.
A
giving me
vagina
ideas.
that's not landscaping. Landscaping.
Thank you.
Landscaping.
Thank you guys for being here, except culture. Thank you guys for showing up and having fun in the chat. Please support this wonderful community of people. Please choose your favorite 2 or 3 favorite YouTubers you watch every day and share out links to their channels and do that special thing that you do, man. We love an industry to support us. We only have each other and we rise together. Thank you guys so much. Had a great time tonight. Have a wonderful night this evening and be good to each other. So say we all.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, Steven.
Yes.
Steven. Thanks for plugging stuff on the way out.
You're an asshole.
Hey, Steven, you gonna make the stream tonight?
I am going to make the attempt. I got some stuff I got to get to.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude.
No,
Oh man. Folks, this is what you get every Thursday on the Pegasus Actual Podcast. You get men and women in here roasting each other. Tonight we just had a bunch of men roasting each other because we're all friends. We're all like a family, and we always bust one another's balls. It's unavoidable. And that's how this community is. It's very close-knit. And yes, please do subscribe to all the wonderful people on the panel. There's a number of people in this chat right now that are very good content creators in their own right. As we mentioned, Moira, Bruce, Sci-Fi Nation, DJ Odyssey,
Wes Moody.
Wes Moody of the Wes Moody webcast, Moira Kitty. Yeah, we have a ton of just talented creators in this community. So please. We
forgot Ords. Ords is still here.
Yeah, Ords is still chilling in the chat. Yeah, Ords too.
Subscribe to Ords board.
But yeah, we are all trying to do our part to bring back some normalcy, bring back good storytelling, talk about the things that we enjoyed growing up, because this is what is important. This is what being a fan of true franchises is. And don't forget that, folks. Don't leave that behind. Don't lose that feeling. We need to bring it back. And we will. If we all come together and we fight for this, you best damn believe we are going to bring this back. So don't lose that hope. So on that note, we will see you next Thursday. Take care of yourselves and each other. Peace. So say we all.
So say we all.